Good morning, world, and welcome to another episode of Vaughn's Car Chronicles. Alright, so a lot has been going on in the news in the world the last couple of days. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today was something that I touched on a while back on social media, and that's the notion of when you're breaking generational curses or doing new things, don't expect the easy route. Like I touched on the Sha'Carri Richardson situation and mental health, and it got me to thinking about how people in my generation are dealing with a lot of stress, depression, anxiety, just a lot of various different mental situations. It leads a lot of people in my generation to coping mechanisms such as marijuana, alcohol. Some people even got sex addictions and things of that nature, and all the other different wild addictions to deal with their stress, their anxiety, their depression. But what causes some of this stress, anxiety, depression, and all these different situations? A lot of times, especially in my generation, it's because we're out here actively trying to break generational curses. We've been raised, most of us raised in lower socioeconomic status communities, hoods, ghettos, projects, however you want to call them, or whatever you want to call them. A lot of us were raised up in situations that we do not want to raise our kids in. A lot of us were raised up in situations that we don't want to grow up and live in. A lot of us were raised up in situations that when we grow up, we want to change it. So we want to change it, and we want to put our kids and our kids' kids and our little brothers, our little cousins, and whoever else may be responsible for, or even look up to us. We want to put them in a better situation. So a lot of times that calls for us to go out into uncharted territories for us, and that's the process of breaking those generational curses. Trying to get better paying jobs, bigger, better houses, property. Me, myself, I'm trying to plant that real estate seed in my daughter because it wasn't planted in me. You know, I got a goal that I'm working towards so passionately right now. I won't share my goal right now with the whole world. I'll share it with my close circle, but I'm not gonna share it with the whole world. I ain't scared of y'all trying to steal my dream vision, but I don't feel like talking about it like that to you. Only with my close people. But I'm trying to plant these seeds into my kid that weren't planted into me. And that's not an easy thing, especially when you were raised up in a certain way, when you were raised up not seeing certain things. To be honest, I highly doubt that any of my friends growing up, saw anybody who legit made 6 figures a year. So think about that. Most of the people that were raised up and grew up around, especially back then in the 80s, coming up in the 80s, they made $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $75,000, man, it was balling. So for us to see somebody making 6 figures, that, that's unheard of almost. It's rare. I won't say it didn't happen, but it was rare. Now, think about other communities. Shit, seeing people, you might be in a household where your mom and your dad made 6 figures, But so that's, common for them in those generations to keep that stuff going. But when you come from a generation where you're not commonly seeing people make 6 figures, you're not commonly seeing people, being entrepreneurs, you're not commonly seeing people owning rental or investment properties and things of that nature, that's a foreign concept. And trying to achieve those things is going to be a journey. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be different. It's going to be difficult at times. But that doesn't mean that you should stop. That doesn't mean that you're on the wrong journey. That just tells you that, hey, when you're chasing, like I said, when you're trying to break generational curses, you should not expect that easy route. Embrace the hurt. Embrace the suck. Embrace the pain. Embrace the bullshit. A lot of people, kind of come to me because I keep it real with them, and that's because the world we live in, you got to be solid. You got to be straightforward. You got to be direct. You got to be honest, or you're going to get fucked over. People can get ahead by being bullshitters and finesses, but if inevitably that shit just comes to, a crashing halt. But when you solid in this shit, you good. And the other thing people ask me, I'm even keel. That's one thing people call me, like, you even keel, you real calm sometimes. Like, when you lose your shit, you lose your shit. But for the most part, it takes a lot for you to lose your shit. You can take a lot. And that's because I look at the world and through these eyes that, hey, I'm trying to break generational curses. So I got to deal with some bullshit along the way. More bullshit than the average person willing to deal with. I understand that, and I get that. But it's all tied into that notion of delayed gratification. This shit I'm going through, this shit I'm doing, it ain't really for me. Like, yeah, the money, looking at the money in the bank account and feeling good when I do some good stuff for the community and my kid, yeah, that makes me feel good. But everything I'm doing is really for the next generation behind me and the generation that come after that. Like, my daughter, my little cousins, any other kids that I may have in the future, I'm doing everything I'm doing now for them. I'm struggling, I'm grinding, I'm crying, I'm stressing, I'm going through anxiety, I'm catching hell, all to make my daughter and those that come behind me life a little bit better. I ain't have no real examples of how to do half of the shit that I'm doing out here in this world, but I'm doing it. It's also why, like, when one of my friends was like, man, you one of the most responsible people I know, that shit caught me completely off guard. It wasn't because I feel like I'm irresponsible. It's because I legit, in my head, be every day be like, man, I'm just trying to figure this shit out and not fuck it up too bad. I literally tell myself that all the time. I'm just trying to figure this shit out and not fuck it up too bad. Because breaking generational curses for me is uncharted territory. And I'm just not trying to fuck it up. I'm trying to break these generational curses. Trying to, leave the bad for my kid. Leave some investments for my kid. Leave some real estate for my kid. Put her in a better situation than any other kids I may have. In a better situation than when I got here. And I'm not saying that my parents did a horrible job at raising me. Not by a long shot. I'm a product of my environment. Yes, I am. But, for the most part, my childhood wasn't that bad. Of course there was struggle, of course there was strife, of course there was some bullshit. But, it could always be worse. That's what I always tell myself. I was never sexually abused. I was never molested. I was never, physically beaten within an inch of my life or anything like that. A lot of the negative and horrible shit and the horror stories that you hear, I never experienced. Have I woken up to some lights being off? Yes, I have. I went to bed hungry? Yes, I have. By choice, because I didn't want to eat what was on the table. And when you in a household where the food options are limited, I grew up in a household where, hey, you either eat what's on the stove or you don't eat. And I thought I was a big boy. And I went to bed hungry. And I woke up even hungrier. And that was the last time I ever pulled that stunt. But when you're trying to break these curses, guys, I just wanted to remind you, stay strong. It's worth it. Yes, it is very much fucking worth it. But when you're out here trying to break these generational curses, a lot of people aren't going to support you. I seen something the other day, and it got me to thinking. People go into business and they get mad or they get in their feelings when their friends don't support them. I personally don't go into business for my friends. My juice business, my security business, my consulting business, I seriously hope that my friends don't really use them services. You know, juice, yeah. But strangers will make you fucking rich. You understand me? So everybody out there looking for their friends to support them and make them boatloads of money, stop that shit. Stop that shit right now, because strangers will make you fucking rich and then take you to being wealthy. And yes, there's a difference between rich and wealthy. I'll get into the semantics of that shit later. But understand this. Breaking that generational curse, going through what you're going through, this shit is not gonna be easy. This shit is not gonna be easy, guys. But is it worth it? Yes, it is. It's hella worth it. It's so fucking worth it. Because the generation that come behind us, they're gonna appreciate your sweat, your pain, your tears, your strife. They're gonna appreciate that shit. They're gonna see that. And your kids, when your kids see you grinding to break that curse, that generational curse, then they're gonna, grind just as hard, because they're gonna see what you're doing. And I be sure to tell my daughter, I like, hey, you see all this grinding, this hustling? Like, daddy don't sleep some nights, kid, because I be out there chasing this money. Like, I legit, like Art Basel week down here in South Florida, during that whole 7-day period, I might have 2 or 3 periods where I go on a 72-hour run. Well, I'm up 72 straight hours. Like, I might get 12 hours of sleep in that whole week, and that's total. But when I get done with that, the bag is secure. The bag is fucking there. I've also done some networking in the process of that, to try and, get a little bit more gains to break these generational curses. And that's another part of the breaking that generational curse, guys. This Instagram shit, that's not real networking. The real way, a fast way to break generational curses, guys, is to build your network. You have no net worth if you have no network. I'll say that again for the ones in the back, and I'm even mute my tune so you can hear it clearly. You have no net worth if you have no network. The people that you know, or the people that know you, can line you up and to put you in a great position to fucking succeed, guys. They can put you in position to break those generational curses. We can't do this shit by our lonesome. So you need a little bit of help along the way, guys. Don't be too prideful and thumb your nose at some help or some assistance along the way while you're on your journey. Because breaking those generational curses, I assure you, the Jews, when they came up out of Holocaust, and I know some people are going to try and, dissect my words, but please understand, everything I'm going to say about the Jews is meant for respect and no shade, no none of that shit. But when the Jews came up out of the Holocaust, they had a generational curse to break. And you see the effects of them breaking that generational curse. Because they could have came out of the Holocaust and been fucked up for ages. But with a little assistance and a lot of hard work and, a couple shady shit going on, but, we won't get into all that. But understand, they did break that generational curse into being they went from essentially being fucking gassed in barns to one of the most powerful, I don't call them a race, religions, entities, groups. That's what it's like. One of the most powerful groups on this earth. So yes, guys, when you out here breaking that generational curse, network. Stay strong in it. Stay strong, because it's gonna get rough. You're gonna have some doubt, some periods of doubt. You're gonna have some periods of hesitation where you just like, man, fuck this shit. But don't stop. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Your kids see this. The next generation is gonna appreciate it. Like, I can't understate how hard you guys just keep pushing, guys. Don't let the stress, don't let the strife, don't let the bullshit get to you. It is not going to be easy to break generational curses. Great, I'm finna get the green light and the fucking police come through here. Oh, okay, going that way. But when you're on a mission to break those generational curses, guys, the fuck? Please, please, please do not give up, guys. It is worth it. Your kids will appreciate it. The next generation appreciate it. And you're going to appreciate it too, because if you know anything like I know about achieving goals, when you set a goal for yourself and you achieve that goal, that is one of the most intense highs on this earth. Like, it feels so awesome to achieve a goal. If you've never set a goal for yourself, I encourage you to set one for yourself and then work hard to achieve that. And watch how you feel when you achieve that goal. You're going to feel so damn good that ain't nobody going to be able to bring you down. Like, it's a feeling that's second to none, guys. So, that being said, yo, what the hell is going on? They just called like all the police in this area. Like, every last cop in this fucking area just ain't got nothing to do with me. Got nothing to do with me. But yes, keep striving to break these generational curses, guys. And just stay strong, man. That's all I got to say. It was most motivational today. I'll probably do another video sometime later on today just to touch on the assassination of the French president and some other crazy stuff I see going on in the world. But right now, we go in this building and educate some people. Peace. Love y'all. Stay safe.